The Grand Hall of the Galactic Council buzzed with excited chatter. Beings from 1,000 worlds filled the room, their diverse forms a testament to the vastness of the galaxy. At the center, on a raised platform, sat the Council of Elders, the most respected leaders from across the stars. Today's meeting had an unusual agenda. Earth, that tiny blue planet in the unfashionable western spiral arm of the galaxy, had declared its intention to join the ranks of galactic powers. The human ambassador, John Carter, stood nervously at the podium, his crisp uniform a stark contrast to the exotic attire around him. Esteemed members of the council, John began, his voice echoing through the hall. Earth is ready to take its place among the stars. We come offering friendship and a new military alliance to ensure peace in our sector. A moment of silence followed, broken suddenly by a burst of laughter. It started with a few chuckles and grew into a roar that shook the very walls of the chamber. The human ambassador's face reddened, but he stood his ground. Zax Toril, the reptilian representative, was the first to speak. You expect us to believe that your primitive species, barely out of its cradle, can offer anything of value to the Galactic Council. His forked tongue flicked out, tasting the air thick with amusement. From another corner, Ilara of the Luminous Nebula added her voice. We have observed your military might, humans. Your vessels are little more than tin cans compared to our fleets. What protection could you possibly offer? John Carter tried to interject, but his words were drowned out by the growing chorus of mockery. Holographic displays flickered to life around the chamber, showing Earth's most advanced ships. Compared to the sleek, energy-shielded behemoths of other races, they looked like toys. The council elder, a being of pure energy named Zephyr, raised a glowing tendril for silence. The laughter died down, but smirks remained on many faces. Human, Zephyr's voice resonated in their minds. Your bravery is noted, but perhaps misplaced. The galaxy is vast and dangerous. Wars are fought with weapons you cannot imagine. Entire star systems can be erased in the blink of an eye. What can Earth offer in the face of such power? John took a deep breath. He had prepared for skepticism, but not this level of derision. We may be young, he said, his voice gaining strength, but we are quick learners. Humanity has faced countless challenges and always emerged stronger. Give us a chance, and we will surprise you. This statement was met with more laughter and head-shaking. Some delegates were wiping tears from their eyes, or equivalent sensory organs. Grandeur, the representative of the Silicon Collective, spoke next. His voice was a metallic drone. Our analysis shows a 99.98% probability that humans would be obliterated in any significant galactic conflict. Your inclusion would be a liability, not an asset. The mocking continued, with delegates trying to outdo each other in belittling Earth's capabilities. They'd brought up humanity's short lifespan, their internal conflicts, and their reliance on fossil fuels. Each point was illustrated with holograms and met with more laughter. John Carter stood stoically through it all. Behind his calm exterior, his mind raced. He knew something they didn't, a secret that Earth had been keeping close to its chest, but it wasn't time to reveal that yet. As the session wound down, Zephyr addressed John once more. We appreciate your enthusiasm, human. But the Galactic Council must respectfully decline your offer of alliance. Perhaps in a few thousand years, when your species has matured, we can revisit this discussion. With that, the Council moved on to other matters, dismissing Earth as if it were an amusing interlude rather than a serious proposal. John Carter was ushered out, the sound of chuckles following him. As he left the Grand Hall, John's communicator buzzed. It was a message from Earth Command. Project Nemesis is ahead of schedule. Prototype ready for testing. A small smile played on John's lips. Let them laugh, he thought. They won't be laughing for long. The Earth's war room was a hive of activity. Military leaders, scientists, and politicians gathered around a massive holographic display, their faces illuminated by its blue glow. At the center stood Admiral Sarah Chen, her eyes fixed on the spinning image of a spaceship unlike any Earth had built before. "Ladies and gentlemen," she said, her voice cutting through the chatter, "Project Nemesis is no longer just a dream. It's becoming a reality." The room fell silent as all eyes turned to her. Admiral Chen gestured, and the hologram zoomed in on different parts of the ship. "The Galactic Council may think we're a joke," she continued, a hint of steel in her voice, "but they won't be laughing when they see this." Dr. Rajesh Patel, the lead scientist on the project, stepped forward. "We've made breakthroughs in every field," he explained, excitement clear in his voice. "Our engines can now bend space-time itself. Our shields can withstand the heat of a dying star. And our weapons." He paused for effect. "Well, let's just say they're beyond anything the galaxy has seen." A murmur of appreciation rippled through the crowd. General Maria Rodriguez, a battle-hardened veteran, spoke up. "It's impressive, but can we build it in time? The Council's mockery is spreading. Our allies are beginning to doubt us." Admiral Chen nodded grimly. "That's why we're pushing the schedule. Round-the-clock shifts, unlimited resources. I want this ship ready to fly in half the time we originally planned." The room erupted in protests. "Impossible," someone shouted. "We'd be cutting corners," said another. "Enough." Admiral Chen's voice thundered. The room fell silent again. "I know it seems impossible, but remember, impossibility is humanity's playground. We went from horse-drawn carriages to the moon in 66 years. We cured diseases they said were incurable. We faced extinction-level events and survived. This is just our next challenge." Her words seemed to ignite a fire in the room. Heads nodded, backs straightened. "Dr. Patel," she turned to the scientist, "can it be done?" Rajesh adjusted his glasses, thinking hard. "It's risky," he admitted. "But, yes, with the right team and resources, we can do it." "Good," Chen said, "because failure is not an option. The future of Earth depends on this." As the meeting dispersed, people left with a new sense of purpose. In labs and factories around the world, work on Project Nemesis intensified. Weeks turned into months. Progress was made. Setbacks were overcome. The ship began to take shape in a secret orbital facility. John Carter, back from his humiliating experience at the Galactic Council, threw himself into the project. He worked tirelessly, coordinating between the military and the scientific teams. One day, as he floated in the observation deck, watching the massive ship come together, Sarah Chen joined him. "Quite a sight, isn't it?" she said, her eyes reflecting the gleam of the hull. John nodded. "When I stood in that council chamber, being laughed at by beings from across the galaxy, I never imagined we'd come this far so quickly." Sarah placed a hand on his shoulder. "Their laughter lit a fire under us, John. Sometimes, that's all we humans need, someone to tell us we can't do something." As they watched, a new section of the hull was maneuvered into place by robotic arms. The ship was enormous, dwarfing anything Earth had built before. "We're not just building a ship," John mused. "We're building the future of humanity." Sarah nodded. "And when it's ready, we'll show the galaxy what humanity is truly capable of." As the sun rose over Earth's curve, its light glinted off the nearly completed Dreadnought. Project Nemesis was almost ready to change the course of galactic history. In offices and homes across Earth, humans went about their daily lives, unaware of the marvel being constructed above their heads. But soon, very soon, the whole galaxy would know, and they wouldn't be laughing anymore. The massive hangar bay of Earth's orbital station hummed with activity. Engineers and technicians swarmed around the gleaming hull of humanity's greatest achievement, the Dreadnought Nemesis. Its sleek lines and imposing size made it look like a predator ready to pounce. Dr. Emily Wong, the head of weapons development, stood before a group of nervous-looking officials. She tapped her tablet, and a holographic display sprang to life, showing the ship's schematics. "Ladies and gentlemen," she began, her voice steady despite the excitement in her eyes, Project Nemesis is complete. Allow me to walk you through our creation." The officials leaned in, their eyes wide with anticipation. "First, our propulsion system," Emily said, zooming in on the engines. "We've harnessed dark energy, allowing us to bend space-time. The Nemesis can cross the galaxy in days, not years." Gasps echoed through the room. One official raised his hand. "But the power requirements must be enormous." Emily smiled. "That brings me to our next breakthrough. We've created a miniature artificial star at the ship's core. It provides nearly unlimited clean energy." She swiped the display, revealing the ship's weapon systems. "Now for the teeth of our beast. We've developed quantum-entangled missiles that can hit targets instantly, regardless of distance. Our main cannon harnesses the power of a controlled singularity." The room fell silent, the implications sinking in. These weren't just advancements. They were revolutionary leaps in technology. And finally, Emily said, her voice filled with pride, "Our defense systems. We've created a phase-shift shield that can make the ship intangible for short periods. Essentially, enemy fire will pass right through us." Admiral Chen stepped forward, her face beaming. "Dr. Wong, you and your team have outdone yourselves. This ship isn't just a match for the galactic powers, it surpasses them." As the officials broke into applause, a young ensign burst into the room, his face pale. "Admiral," he panted, "we're picking up a transmission. The Galactic Council, they're on their way here." The room erupted in chaos. Admiral Chen's voice cut through the noise. "How long do we have?" "Their ships will reach Earth orbit in 6 hours," the ensign replied. Chen turned to Emily. "Is the Nemesis ready for action?" Emily hesitated for a moment, then nodded firmly. "She's as ready as she'll ever be, Admiral." "Then it's time," Chen said, her voice filled with determination. She tapped her communicator. "This is Admiral Chen. I want the Nemesis crewed and ready for launch in 5 hours. This is not a drill." As alarms blared throughout the station, the room emptied quickly. Engineers rushed to make final checks, while crew members hurried to their stations. John Carter found himself on the bridge of the Nemesis, strapping into the captain's chair. Around him, the best and brightest of Earth's military took their positions, their faces a mix of excitement and fear. "Status report," John called out, his voice steady despite the butterflies in his stomach. "All systems online, Captain," his first officer replied. "Weapons primed, shields at full power. We're ready to fly." John took a deep breath, looking at the main view screen. Earth hung there, beautiful and fragile. Everything they had worked for, everything they were fighting to protect, was contained in that blue marble. "Communications," he said. "Patch me through to the entire ship." A moment later, he began to speak. "Crew of the Nemesis, this is your captain. In a few moments, we will launch into the unknown. The Galactic Council is coming, expecting to find a primitive, helpless world. Instead, they'll meet us." He paused, letting his words sink in. "Each of you represents the best of humanity. Our ingenuity, our courage, our unwavering spirit. Today, we carry the hopes and dreams of every human on Earth with us." The bridge crew straightened in their seats, pride evident on their faces. "We may be untested," John continued, "but so was every great explorer and pioneer in human history. Today, we take our place among the stars. Today, we show the galaxy what humanity is truly capable of." As he finished speaking, the countdown to launch began. The Nemesis hummed to life, its systems powering up. In homes and public squares across Earth, humans gathered around screens, watching and waiting. In orbit, the Galactic Council's ships appeared, their massive forms casting shadows on the planet below. The stage was set. Humanity's moment of truth had arrived. The Galactic Council's fleet hung in Earth's orbit, a collection of massive ships that dwarfed anything humanity had previously encountered. Their sleek designs and pulsing energy fields spoke of technology far beyond Earth's known capabilities. On the bridge of the lead ship, the council members gathered, their faces a mix of amusement and mild annoyance. Zax Toril, the reptilian representative, flicked his tongue impatiently. "Let's get this over with," he hissed. "Hail the primitives." A giant screen flickered to life, showing the United Earth Government's chamber. The human leaders stood tall, their faces set with determination. Zephyr, the energy being, spoke first. "Humans of Earth, we have come to address your amusing claim of galactic readiness. We hope you've reconsidered your position." The Earth President stepped forward, her voice steady. "Honored Council, we stand by our statement. Earth is ready to join the galactic community as equals." Laughter echoed through the council ship. Ilara of the Luminous Nebula spoke next, her voice dripping with condescension. "And what, pray tell, has changed since your ambassador's pitiful display in our chambers?" The president smiled. "Perhaps a demonstration is in order. If you would direct your attention to your sensor readings." Confused murmurs spread among the council members as they checked their instruments. Suddenly, alarms blared across their ships. "Impossible," Gronder of the Silicon Collective exclaimed. "Our sensors are detecting a massive energy signature, but there's nothing there." At that moment, seemingly out of nowhere, the Nemesis appeared. The massive Dreadnought shimmered into view, its stealth systems deactivating to reveal a ship that rivaled the Council vessels in size and apparent sophistication. On the Nemesis bridge, Captain John Carter allowed himself a small smile. "Nemesis to Earth Control. The Eagle has landed." The council chamber erupted in chaos. Zax Toril's scales changed color rapidly in his agitation. "What trickery is this? You couldn't have built this." The Earth President's smile widened. "No trickery, honored Council. Allow us to introduce the UES Nemesis, the first of Earth's new defense fleet." On the Council's screens, multiple views of the Nemesis appeared. Its sleek design, pulsing with energy, was a far cry from the tin cans they had mocked earlier. Zephyr's energy form flickered uncertainly. This changes things. But surely it's just for show. You can't possibly have the technology to make it a true match for our fleet." John Carter's voice came through the communication channels. "We'd be happy to demonstrate the Nemesis's capabilities, council members. With your permission, of course." The council members looked at each other, a mix of shock and growing respect on their faces. Slowly, Zephyr nodded. "Proceed, human." What followed was a display that left even the most skeptical council member speechless. The Nemesis moved with impossible speed and grace for a ship its size. It phased through weapons fire as if it were mere light, then reappeared unscathed. When the Nemesis fired its weapons, the results were beyond anything the council had seen. Quantum-entangled missiles appeared inside enemy shields without warning. The Singularity Cannon created localized areas of warped space-time that could have torn lesser ships apart. Throughout the demonstration, Earth's leaders watched with pride. Decades of work, the combined efforts of the planet's greatest minds, had paid off beyond their wildest dreams. As the display concluded, silence reigned in both the council chamber and on Earth. The Nemesis returned to its position above Earth, a silent guardian of human achievement. Finally, Zephyr spoke, its voice filled with a newfound respect. "Humans of Earth, we may have misjudged you. This ship, this Nemesis, it's beyond anything we expected." The Earth President nodded graciously. "We understand, Council. Humanity has come far in a short time. We hope this demonstrates our readiness to join you as equals in the galactic community." The council members conferred quietly among themselves. The mood had shifted dramatically from condescension to cautious respect. Zax Toril, his earlier mockery forgotten, leaned forward. "Tell us, humans, how did you achieve this? And what else are you capable of?" As discussions began in earnest, it was clear that humanity's position in the galaxy had changed forever. The age of Earth as a galactic backwater was over. A new chapter in human history had begun, written in the stars themselves. The tension in Earth's orbit was palpable. The Galactic Council's fleet hung in space, their earlier bravado replaced by wary curiosity. The Nemesis, humanity's crowning achievement, floated serenely among them, its presence a silent challenge to everything the Council thought they knew about Earth. On the bridge of the Nemesis, Captain John Carter stood tall, his crew at the ready. A communication from Earth Command flashed on his screen. "Show them what we can do." John nodded to his communications officer. "Open a channel to the Council's flagship." The main screen flickered to life, showing the diverse faces of the Council members. John spoke clearly, his voice steady. "Esteemed Council, we propose a series of trials to demonstrate the Nemesis's capabilities. Are you willing to participate?" The Council members exchanged glances before Zephyr, the energy being, responded. "We accept, human. What do you propose?" John allowed himself a small smile. "A contest of speed, defense, and firepower. 3 trials to showcase the best of our technologies." The Council agreed, their curiosity overcoming their skepticism. Zax Toril, the reptilian, hissed, "We'll use our fastest ship for the speed trial. You cannot hope to match it." The first trial began. A sleek, arrow-like ship from the Council's fleet took position next to the much larger Nemesis. The goal was simple, a race to the moon and back. "Begin," came the signal, and both ships leaped into action. The Council's ship streaked away, quickly gaining a lead. But then, the Nemesis's engines pulsed with an eerie blue light. In a blink, it vanished, reappearing instantly at the moon. Before the Council could react, it was back at the starting point. Stunned silence filled the communication channels. Ilara of the Luminous Nebula stammered, "How? That's impossible." John explained calmly, "Our dark energy drive allows us to fold space-time. Distance is optional for the Nemesis." The second trial focused on defense. The Council's most powerful ship prepared to fire its main weapon at the Nemesis. On Earth, millions watched with bated breath. The blast of energy from the Council ship was blinding, enough to vaporize a small moon. It struck the Nemesis dead center and passed right through, leaving the Earth ship untouched. Gasps echoed across the Council's fleet. Gronder of the Silicon Collective's voice was filled with disbelief. "Our sensors show no damage. How did you survive?" Dr. Emily Wong's voice came over the channel, pride evident in her tone. "Our phase shift technology allows us to temporarily exist out of sync with normal spacetime. Your energy blast passed through empty space." The final trial was a display of firepower. A large asteroid was chosen as the target. The Council's ships unleashed a barrage of their most powerful weapons, reducing a third of the asteroid to rubble. Then it was the Nemesis's turn. Captain Carter's voice was calm as he gave the order. "Fire the singularity cannon." A beam of distorted space shot out from the Nemesis. Where it touched the asteroid, reality seemed to warp. In a matter of seconds, the entire asteroid collapsed in on itself, vanishing into a pinpoint of infinite density. Silence reigned across all channels. The Council members stared, their expressions a mix of awe and fear. Zephyr was the first to speak, its energy form flickering rapidly. "By the stars, what have you created?" Back on Earth, in the control room, Admiral Chen watched the proceedings with a grim smile. Beside her, the President nodded in satisfaction. "I think we've made our point." John's voice came through, strong and clear. "Council members, we hope this demonstration has shown that Earth is not just ready to join the galactic community, but to be a significant contributor to it." The Council huddled in frantic discussion. When they turned back to the screen, their demeanor had completely changed. Gone was the mockery, replaced by a new respect and a hint of fear. Zephyr spoke for them all. "Humans of Earth, we may have gravely underestimated you. Perhaps it is time we had a more equal discussion about Earth's role in galactic affairs." As negotiations began in earnest, it was clear that the balance of power in the galaxy had shifted. Humanity, once dismissed as primitive, had in one bold stroke reshaped its cosmic destiny. On the Nemesis, John Carter looked out at the stars, a mix of pride and apprehension in his heart. They had proved themselves, yes, but at what cost? And what challenges would this new era bring? The future, vast and unknown, beckoned. The Grand Hall of the Galactic Council, once a place of mockery for humanity, now buzzed with nervous energy. Representatives from 1,000 worlds shifted uneasily in their seats. At the center, Earth's delegation stood tall, no longer the subject of ridicule, but of intense curiosity and barely concealed fear. Admiral Sarah Chen, flanked by Captain John Carter and Dr. Emily Wong, faced the council. The holographic image of the Nemesis floated above them, a constant reminder of Earth's newfound power. Zephyr, the energy being, spoke first. Its usually calm voice wavered slightly. Humans of Earth, you have surprised us. We admit our error in judging your species prematurely. Murmurs rippled through the assembled aliens. Zax Toril, the reptilian representative, leaned forward. What we want to know is, how? How did you advance so quickly? Admiral Chen stepped forward, her voice steady. Necessity, council members. Your mockery, your dismissal of our efforts, only fueled our determination. Humanity has always thrived when faced with challenges. Dr. Wong added, we combine the brightest minds from every field. Physics, engineering, even philosophy. We questioned everything we thought we knew about the universe. The council members exchanged glances. Ilara of the Luminous Nebula spoke next, her tone cautious. And what do you intend to do with this power? Surely you must understand our concern. Captain Carter answered, his voice firm, but not unkind. We came here offering friendship and alliance. That hasn't changed. We don't seek domination, only respect and a place among the stars. A tense silence fell over the hall. The council members huddled, speaking in hushed tones. The Earth delegation waited patiently, aware that the future of their species hung in the balance. Finally, Zephyr turned back to them. We have concerns, naturally. But we also see an opportunity. Humanity has proven itself, innovative in ways we hadn't anticipated. Grandeur of the Silicon Collective chimed in, his metallic voice tinged with excitement. Your technological leaps could benefit the entire galaxy. We are curious about potential collaborations. Admiral Chen nodded. We're open to sharing our advancements. Under the right conditions, Earth's security must be guaranteed. The negotiations continued for hours. Debates raged over technology sharing, territorial rights, and Earth's role in galactic politics. Throughout it all, the human delegation stood firm, neither aggressive nor submissive. As the talks progressed, a shift in the room became palpable. Other species representatives, once dismissive of humans, now approached them during breaks, eager to establish connections. John overheard snippets of conversation. Could revolutionize our mining operations. Imagine the medical applications. Need to establish trade agreements immediately. By the time the session ended, the galaxy's political landscape had been redrawn. Earth was no longer an insignificant backwater, but a major player in cosmic affairs. As the Earth delegation prepared to leave, Zephyr approached them privately. You've changed everything, it said, its energy form flickering with mixed emotions. We underestimated you once. We won't make that mistake again. Admiral Chen met its gaze steadily. We hope this is the beginning of a new era of cooperation, Zephyr. Earth has much to learn from the galaxy, too. Back on the Nemesis, as they journeyed home, the team allowed themselves a moment of celebration. Cheers erupted on the bridge as news of their diplomatic victory spread through the ship. But in a quiet moment, John found Sarah staring out at the stars. We did it, he said, joining her. Everything we worked for. Sarah nodded, her expression thoughtful. We did. But this is just the beginning, John. We've stepped onto a much larger stage now. The real work is about to start. As Earth grew larger in their view screen, both felt the weight of their achievement. They had secured humanity's place in the cosmos, But with great power came great responsibility. The galaxy was watching, and humanity's true test was yet to come. 1 year had passed since Earth's dramatic entrance onto the galactic stage. The planet buzzed with activity, a far cry from its former isolation. Alien ships now regularly visited Earth's orbital stations, their strange designs a constant reminder of humanity's new reality. In New York, the newly constructed Galactic Embassy Tower stretched into the sky, its architecture a blend of Earth's styles and alien influences. Inside, representatives from dozens of worlds worked alongside humans, forging a new era of cooperation. Admiral Sarah Chen stood at the window of her office, overlooking the bustling city below. Captain John Carter and Dr. Emily Wong joined her, each holding a datapad filled with the latest reports. "It's hard to believe how much has changed," John mused, his eyes scanning the alien scripts on his pad. Sarah nodded. "We've come a long way from being the galaxy's laughingstock." Emily chimed in, excitement in her voice. "The technological exchange has been incredible. Our medical advances alone have increased human lifespan by decades, and our contributions to faster-than-light travel have revolutionized galactic transportation." Their conversation was interrupted by a soft chime. A holographic image of Zephyr, now Earth's primary liaison to the Galactic Council, appeared in the center of the room. "Greetings, friends," the energy being said warmly. "I bring news from the Council." The vote was unanimous. Earth has been granted a permanent seat on the Galactic High Committee. The three humans exchanged glances, their expressions a mix of pride and apprehension. This was what they had worked for, but it also meant new responsibilities on a cosmic scale. "Thank you, Zephyr," Sarah replied. "We're honored." "And the other matter we discussed." Zephyr's energy form flickered, a sign of hesitation. That was more contentious. Many council members fear the implications of sharing such technology widely. John stepped forward. "But they understand why it's necessary, right? The threat we discovered." "Yes," Zephyr confirmed. "The evidence you provided of the extragalactic incursion is undeniable. The Council agrees that we must prepare, but they're cautious about an arms race." Sarah's face hardened with determination. "We didn't build the Nemesis to dominate, but to protect. If these invaders are as powerful as our deep space probes suggest, we'll need every world equipped to defend itself." As they discussed strategy, reports flowed in from across the galaxy. Earth's diplomats were reshaping alliances. Its scientists were unlocking new secrets of the universe. And in hidden shipyards, new versions of the Nemesis were taking shape, each one an improvement on the last. Later that day, Sarah found herself addressing the United Earth Council. The chamber was packed, with billions more watching the broadcast across the planet and beyond. 1 year ago, she began, her voice strong. "We were dismissed as primitive. Today, we stand as equals among the stars. But with this power comes great responsibility." She paused, letting her words sink in. "We face challenges greater than we ever imagined. Threats from beyond our galaxy loom, but we will not face them alone." Humanity's strength has always been its ability to unite in the face of adversity. As Sarah spoke, on screens around her, images flashed of human and alien scientists working side by side, of joint military exercises in deep space, of children from 100 worlds playing together in zero-gravity parks. "We will not use our power to conquer or dominate," she continued. "The Nemesis and its sisters will stand as shields, not swords. Earth will be a beacon of hope, a center of innovation, and a stalwart defender of peace in the galaxy." The chamber erupted in applause. Across the planet, cheers rang out. On distant worlds, aliens watched with a newfound respect for their human allies. As the speech concluded, John and Emily joined Sarah on the podium. Together, they looked out at the sea of faces, human and alien alike. "Well," John said quietly, "I guess the real adventure is just beginning." Sarah nodded, a smile playing on her lips. "Indeed, we've proven ourselves to the galaxy." Now it's time to prove ourselves to the universe. As night fell on Earth, the stars seemed to shine brighter than ever before. Humanity had taken its place among them, ready to face whatever challenges the vast cosmos might bring. The future, infinite in its possibilities, awaited.